Hello Flutter developers, in this video we are going to take a look at WhatsApp UI both for the mobile version and for the web version. We are going to make use of the reusable widgets in the mobile part which we will directly implement in the web version after we complete the mobile part. So make sure you complete the video and let's get into the action without wasting any more time. This video would be the combination of the speed code plus some narration and the parts which I think is essential. Here is just the pubspec YAML file at the start of the project, nothing complex here. Just we are using the external package which is the provider you might have used. If you have not used that, then also it's okay. Before starting to write code, let's understand the model of the chat and the message we have. The chat is just basically a model where we have the chat ID, member number, just basically the details of the two users who are chatting. All of this would be more clear when we are talking, when we are basically implementing everything, and the message is just three things: the text, time, and who is sending the messages. In the here you can see the mock data that we have in case of the list of messages. So this is just a list here, nothing complex here, is just a message model that you can see right over here, and all of this would be much clearer when we are implementing it again. And here is all the chats that we have, and as you can see the messages list is just indicating which message that we have of that corresponding chat. So let's start writing code for our application. So here we will basically display whatever we have in our chats, or whatever the persons we are chatting with, whoever our friends with. And it's just a list view.builder. Easy concept here. You might have used list view.builder, passing in the build context and the index. One important thing that we are going to do here is we are going to extract the messages list of that chat, as you might have noticed in the chat model. All right, like I have passed here the index, and here is the list of messages that I can access for that corresponding chat. So when I extract those list of messages, I can extract the last message which I have sent, so that I can show in this screen, because you might have used WhatsApp and the last message that we have sent or received is shown in the home page of the WhatsApp. So as you might have noticed that here we are building the chat screen, the actual chat that happened between me and my friend. So I'm just going to extract this chat from the index. After I'm going to tap on this list tile, and that chat would be in that screen, present on that screen. And with the help of chat model, we can extract the messages, actual messages that we have to show. That's what we are actually doing here.
Invincible.
So here we are just refactoring some part of the code because that would be useful when we are building the web version, and it will be much more clear when we move to that part. All right. If you are wondering why are we passing data from one method to another, like I'm passing the messages list from here to there, and why not using directly, then don't worry, just after a few minutes we are going to fix it together with the new approach. So now we have our messages showing on our screen. We want to segregate based on whether we are sending messages or receiving messages. So I have just basically what I've done here, I have chosen my number as 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, and if the message, the number, sender number in that message is equal to that, then I will consider that the message which I have sent. Otherwise I will consider the messages that were sent by someone else. So you can see the corresponding green and white color which happened due to that as well. So one thing you might have noticed that whenever we move to the chat screen, we are not scroll to the bottom of the page. We are stuck at the first message, but we want to move to the last message. So one quick fix that I've done here is just use the scroll controller and pass the initial offset any large value so that we just move to the last message that we have sent. So now we are using the stateful widget, so it's a one quick fix that we can do by not defining the variables as finals and not passing data from one method to another like we were doing earlier. And we'll also see a much more cleaner way after we are using the provider in the few minutes. So as you can see, we have completed the mobile part, and now it's for the web version. Web version, the home screen looks pretty much different from what we have in the mobile part, but this chat list and the chat screen is reusable, and you will see that in the action in a second. Before moving to the web part, make sure you are on the beta channel of the Flutter, and you can now run the Chrome as well, just like here. So our app is basically working. There is no error or anything like that, but we want to show a different UI based on the screen width, because now we are on the web version, so we want to use the web UI of the WhatsApp. And for that, we are going to use one helper function, which I'm going to define here, which will tell us whether we are on the mobile or we are on the web version based on the width of the screen. And we are going to use a pretty good old media query here again to decide on which device we are. You can also do it for the tablet or add more breakpoints and create UI like that, but for simplicity we have just divided it into the mobile and the web version. So let's continue. So as we have different screens for mobile and desktop, mobile and web, so we are going to define home screen web and home screen mobile, and a common home screen from where we will navigate to either the mobile part or the web part based on the width of the screen. So we are almost there, but right now when we click on any of our chat screen, we move to the screen similar to what we see in the mobile, but we want to show it in the green part. For that we have to do something like when we click or tap on that, we have to communicate to the home screen that the current index has changed, and according to that we have to update the green part. And for that only we are using something called a provider. Here I am defining my chat provider, which will hold the index of the current chat from the chat screen which it has to display. Alright, so current index, we will get the current index, and we will just set the index whenever user clicks on any of the list style. What it happens is whenever user clicks on that, we are going to use the method notify listeners, which will update the UI accordingly, and we will wrap our main.dart file with the change notifier provider and create the provider for that so that we can use it where we have to use it. Like here I have created the context and the chat provider. Now when I register that in the main.dart file, I can use that chat provider anywhere. Like here we are going to pass it in the chat screen. Where is it? Okay, so first I have moved the app bar to the column, because as you know, in the web version we are already on the one scaffold. We are not moving from one screen to another, so we do not need another scaffold, and accordingly we are defining whether we have to show the scaffold or not. And we will just use the provider in a second, and we have moved apart from that the index, passing the index part. And now when I'm going to tap on any of the list style, I'm just going to update the index in my provider. And as you have seen in that, whenever that happens, it will notify the listeners, whichever the part responsible for displaying the chat screen UI. We'll see that in a second. Here I've updated the index, and I will push the new page to the navigation stack only if I'm on the mobile part. Otherwise I will just display the green part of my web application. Okay, yeah, so here we are just going to extract this index with the provider. Nothing new here. Earlier we are passing the index, but the need that we have to do that here is because we are not moving to new screen, we are displaying the information in that one screen. And the chat list, which is the child of the home, which it needs to communicate to the home and then tell it to the green part. So we have to use basic statement management solution here, and that's why we have used providers here. So with that we have completed the web part as well, and now according to the screen width we have the mobile or the web version. Congratulations on completing the tutorial. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to our channel. See you in the next one.